Welcome back to Mental Health for Creators. Today we're talking about something a lot of creators struggle with but don't always acknowledge: anxiety. More specifically, that overwhelming pressure that can turn your passion into something that feels more like a burden than a joy. Maybe you started creating because you love it. It was exciting, fulfilling, something that made you feel alive. But somewhere along the way, that love turned into stress, self-doubt, and constant pressure to perform. You worry about whether your content is good enough. You feel anxious every time you check your analytics. You're scared of failing, of disappointing your audience, of not being successful enough. Even when you're not working, your mind is racing with thoughts about what you should be doing. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Creative anxiety is real, and it can be exhausting. But the good news? You don't have to stay stuck in it. Today, we're going to break this down: why it happens, how it affects you, and what you can do to manage it without letting it kill your passion. Why does creative anxiety happen? Anxiety in creative work isn't just random. It comes from specific fears and pressures that creators face every day. Some of the biggest causes include the fear of judgment. Putting your work out into the world means opening yourself up to criticism. And let's be real, the internet is brutal. Whether it's negative comments, lukewarm reactions, or just a lack of engagement, it's easy to start questioning yourself. What if people don't like what I create? What if they think I'm not talented? What if I embarrass myself? The fear of judgment can make you second-guess everything, to the point where you avoid creating altogether. The pressure to succeed. When you turn creativity into a career, there's an added layer of pressure. It's not just about making things you love, it's about making things that perform well. Will this get enough views? Will my audience like it? Will this help me grow? Suddenly, instead of creating freely, you're creating with the weight of expectations on your shoulders, and that pressure can be paralyzing. Perfectionism. Many creators struggle with feeling like nothing is ever good enough. You might have an idea you love, but instead of putting it out there, you keep tweaking, editing, reworking, until eventually you just abandon it. Why? Because in your mind, if it's not perfect, it's not worth sharing. But here's the truth. Perfection doesn't exist, and chasing it will only drain your energy and keep you stuck. How creative anxiety affects you. When anxiety takes over your creative process, it can lead to procrastination. You keep putting off projects because they feel too overwhelming. Overthinking. Every decision feels like life or death, so you struggle to move forward. Burnout. The constant stress leaves you drained and unmotivated. Loss of joy. What once felt fun now feels like an obligation. And the worst part? The more anxious you feel, the less you create. And the less you create, the more anxious you feel. It's a vicious cycle. So, how do you break free from it? How to manage creative anxiety. Shift your focus from outcomes to process. One of the biggest sources of anxiety is obsessing over results: views, likes, shares, engagement. But here's the thing: you can't control those things. What you can control is your effort, your creativity, and your consistency. Instead of asking, "Will this go viral?" ask, "Am I proud of this? Did I enjoy making it?" When you focus on the process instead of the outcome, creating becomes fun again. Let go of perfectionism. Repeat after me. Done is better than perfect. The reality is, no matter how much time you spend perfecting something, there will always be flaws. And that's okay. Give yourself permission to create imperfectly. The more you put out work, the more you learn and improve. But if you never release anything because you're waiting for it to be perfect, you'll stay stuck forever. Separate your worth from your work. You are not your content, Your value is not determined by how many followers you have, how many views you get, or how successful your projects are. Your creativity is just one part of who you are. You are more than your work. When you truly internalize this, the fear of failure starts to lose its power. Limit your exposure to social media. Social media is a double-edged sword. It's a great tool for growth, but it's also a breeding ground for comparison, self-doubt, and anxiety. If scrolling through other creators' success makes you feel bad about yourself, take a step back. Mute notifications, take breaks, and remind yourself that what you see online is only a highlight reel, not the full story. Set realistic expectations. Not every project will be a masterpiece. Not every video will go viral. Not every post will blow up, and that's normal. Some things will do well, some won't, and that's part of the journey. When you accept that ups and downs are natural, the pressure starts to ease. Prioritize your mental health. Your mental health is more important than any piece of content you'll ever create. Take breaks. Get enough sleep. Move your body. Talk to someone if you're struggling. You don't have to do this alone. If anxiety is seriously affecting your life, don't hesitate to seek help, whether that's therapy, coaching, or just talking to a trusted friend. Final thoughts. If creative anxiety is something you're struggling with, just know you're not alone. Every creator, no matter how successful, has dealt with this at some point. But anxiety doesn't have to control you. When you focus on the process, release perfectionism, and take care of your mental health, you can create from a place of joy instead of fear. And that's where the best work comes from. I hope this helped. If it did, please like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.